Hello. Yeah, apparently Evanescia and Hyacine skins are in the next patch too.
A little honesty would do us good.
Sparksy skin is good, yeah. I don't like the Hoyo trend of killing characters and bringing them back in a few patches. Oh, the Ampho characters? I don't know. We'll see how it goes in the story. Though they aren't even dead. Like, they aren't dead. They haven't been dead. Hello. No, Himiko isn't only good in AoE. I'd prefer it if you guys didn't bother me too much. Because I've already made a video talking about all the 4.4 character value, I believe. Sorry, it's okay. It's just that the second I answer one person's question about something I've already talked about, and then like it happens over and over and over and over again in my streams, and it gets annoying. Why do you think there isn't a spending event? Why would there be? There wasn't a spending event last time either. It's just the Lycone event, which was already leaked a while back. Yeah, like, Himiko isn't only strong in AoE. In fact, like, it would be an understatement to call her just strong in AoE. She's far and away the strongest AoE DPS in the game, and it's not even close. But, yeah, her single target isn't on par with, like, let's say Silverwolf's team, which is mainly focused on bounce damage, right? So when you cut the cookie in the middle and you average 5 target damage to 1 target damage, and then you look at 3 targets, she's still a top DPS in the game, if not still number 1, with Phanon level vertical investment. And she doesn't even have her teammates yet. Sunday Nova is confirmed now to be Saber Gill's best in slot. I wouldn't say it's confirmed, but like, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to begin with that Sunday Nova would be an upgrade for them. Anybody who is coping that Sunday Nova somehow wouldn't buff Saber Gilga team at all is like, it's just crazy. It's just so obvious. Future Rail at its max potential? I mean, just not really. Like, I get the Future Rail stuff when it comes to shit that has, like, no base at all. But, like, oh, the Energy Ultimate support gets Nova'd, and he's now best in slot for Ultimate DPSs. You know? Like, it's just like... Like, I remember people having the same conversation about Archer, because Archer was actually starting to struggle a little bit more, unless it was the fucking Sam boss that gave him like 10 skill points back. And people were worried about Archer's future. And I remember talking about Nova Sparkle, and people were like, oh, how do you know Sparkle's gonna buff him? Sparkle's for like Sparksy. But like, it's just so obvious. Anon already leaked that Himiko is getting an after sales. So she has someone outside of Sunday Nova. It's likely fake though. Summer, please stop it, man. We're not gonna go through this. This is like the 3rd time you've brought this up. You can believe what you want to believe, but nothing is likely fake when it comes to an Anon leak. The guy literally has a flawless track record for the last over a year. Is this your Saber U2 account? I think so. Mortis said Robin isn't for Himiko, and he's probably right. The more likely case scenario is Robin is targeted towards Rem, but she's able to be used as a generalist and she's a support, like RMC. So she could be a buff for Himiko, but she's not an intended buff for Himiko. It's basically just the M-Blade Tribi situation all over again. Like, you can say M-Blade is best in slot for like 90% of teams in the game right now. But most of them are not intended. It's just because he's a strong generalist. Alright, Summer, I'm going to be timing you out. We already talked about this 3 times in a row, and you keep spreading misinformation about what he said. He never said that EMC was better than Yao Guang. All he did was leak the test teams. When do you get the new skin? I don't even have Sparksy on any of my accounts. Just ban him. If he does that shit again, I will actually ban him when the 10 minutes pass. Anon is reliable, but he said Silverwolf doesn't charge from Yao's ultimate. I don't think he said that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure you are confusing that with another leaker. I mean, I could check, but I just don't think that's true. And also, that's such like a minor thing. Like, what the fuck? Like, that has absolutely nothing to do with not getting an after sales. They literally could have just added an, which, to be honest, it is part of a trace. They could have just added it in the trace, in the actual beta, when it wasn't there when he leaked it. Like, bro, people were saying Zhao Q had healing before his live beta went out. And he never had healing when his official beta came out. Yet people still hold on to the Zhao Q healing bullshit. Ah, fuck, I skipped Sunday by accident. He leaked a cast rerun? Bro, reruns are always subject to change. They literally change last second. Like, oh my god. Yo. You guys not know how the reruns work? They can change it last second. They've done it multiple times. Yeah, Sparksy's getting a rerun. also got Jade rerun. Bro, are you not fucking listening? Oh my fucking god. Holy shit.
Thus our fates become one. All life will reveal.
Sparksy skin looks good. What do you use ult accounts for? For jerking off?
Thus our fates become one.
What would I use ult accounts for? Just to get more characters. You think I like playing on multiple accounts? All I do is whine to my chat every time I stream about how much I hate it. But if I only play on one account, I also find it incredibly boring after a while. Because if you get unlucky enough, you can go on a bad streak.
Thus our fates become one.
Recommending horizontal and HSR? Horizontal is better in HSR. If you do it correctly. Considering a Himeko beats an E2 Phanon at base with free characters. And E1 Tribi loses to an M-Blade. So on and so on. Vertical investment is just for making a certain character slash team you like last a lot longer. But objectively, it's not the most worth it way to play this game. E2 Fei equals E0 Himiko? Yeah, basically. And that's Himiko with free characters right now. Can you give an example of how to horizontally invest? I mean, you just go for good teams, and you don't go for Eidolons on them, or even Lycones on a lot of characters. You cheaply invest into a good team. Instead of going for fucking E2 something Himiko, and then all her best in slots plus after sales. Just run her full RMC Welt team at E0S1. It clears endgame for the next year. And then because you didn't go for her E2, you now have 2 extra copies worth for the newer characters in version 5. That's kind of just how it goes. What are your thoughts on Robin being a Himiko after sale? I just don't think so, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, with every leak we've gotten so far, it just sounds like she might be a generalist who can benefit Himiko. But I don't know if that's necessarily a dedicated after sales. I'm kind of doubtful about that. Question, if I pull on Sparksy's banner with 200 pulls, do I get Archer's Lycone, or does it have to be in the later half of the patch? You have to wait until their banners release. They aren't releasing on the second half, I'm pretty sure. But they're releasing a little later in the first half in comparison to that. But yes, if you use pulls before the new Fate banners come out, it won't count, I'm pretty sure. That's just how it goes. But yes, you can use polls on other banners once their banners are out, and it'll contribute towards the Lycone thing. So yeah, you can pull on Sparksy and on the side end up getting their Lycones for Archer and Gilga. It does count the phase 1 pulls. I'm not saying it. I'm saying you need to wait for the banners to go live. Not that it doesn't count phase 1 pulls. I don't remember correctly if it counts before the banners go live. I don't care about reroll dice, man. These things are scams. It should. I pulled E2 Fey day 1 and still got the 200 for the light cone. I mean, maybe then. Maybe. I don't remember. Why would Robin heal? To be honest, they'd never make Robin heal. They're not adding another healer. That would be the dumbest thing they could ever do. Cassie might end up getting an infinite ult loop with 2 best in slot remembrance healers who buff each other. That doesn't even make sense. You like Firefly? Yeah. Is Gilga main DPS with Blade and RMC good? It's solid. It's solid from what I've seen. It's nothing game changing, but it's solid. It clears. Gilga main DPS and good in the same sentence? I mean, like, he's only not good if you compare it to Himiko. And you compare it to, like, Evanesia with vertical investment. Considering the guy's free and his best in slot sustain is also free, he's actually cheap as shit. And he still performs.
So beautiful.
Gil is still ahead of most other DPSs in all his teams. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying it's like overblown. It's only when you compare him to the current top most shield teams that just released that he loses usually. And even then, like, when you consider cost versus cost, considering how cheap his team is, kind of like an Archer situation, he's basically on the same level in reality. He's getting buffed by Nova Sunday. Yeah, I will say, I can see main DPS skill also getting a bit of a buff with Nova Sunday. Because, I mean, obviously, like, oh, Gil has insanely high synergy with characters whose ults give him more energy because it double dips. He gets the energy from the ally's ult, like directly, and then he gets the like what is it, like 30% energy of the ult cost that the ally used to his own ult, and then the same thing with Wowo. He loves characters like that. Is there a team I can play that doesn't need Ashblade or Saber with Gil? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. All his best teams have Emblade in it. Like, if you want to run him hyper carry, you can get rid of Ashvale. Although Ashvale becomes much higher value when you get Emblade E2. But, like, you kind of want Emblade on all of his teams. I'm not gonna lie. Even without Ashvale. Like, your last hope is basically Sunday Nova. If you want to do that, it'd be Sunday Nova. Gil without Ashblade and Saber is not a unit. You are like crazy overestimating his Ashblade team after the changes to his stacks. His hyper carry team is actually close to his Ashblade team. Without Ash, Gil is just doing nothing until getting ult. Yeah, but the thing is, if you remove Ash for a dedicated buffer, then he does significantly more damage. Which is why removing Ashvale doesn't actually do that much. Because you can just give him a stronger buffer who has action advance, which allows him to use skill, which especially at E1 generates a pretty good amount of energy. So you don't actually lose out on all that much. But Emblade's a different story. Because Emblade has like way too frequent of ultimates, which is incredibly useful, and he's also the strongest Amper currently. Ashvale would matter more on the team, once again, if he didn't get his stacks changed. Because that was the one team he got a lot of action advances on. So, like, the more spammy a team is, the more Ashvale's value goes up because he can use ultimate more often. But with this new version of Gilga, he just isn't that synergistic with Ashblade anymore because the frequency isn't high enough on the team. Why do people doom post so much? It's usually casuals who doom post. It's usually two spectrums, like casuals and then the sweatiest sweats of all time who think people care about zero AV and like zero cycles. Is Summer a casual? Yeah. Whoops. Summer, you will get banned if I see one more message from you. If you keep doing this shit, I swear to God you're getting banned in the next message. Can't he just rage bait with another account if he wants to? That account will get instantly banned. I've already had someone try to do that to me like half a year ago, where they just kept logging into new Gmails, logging into their YouTube with every Gmail they owned, and I just kept banning them infinitely until they gave up. That sounds like loser behavior. I mean, that's just how some people are, dude. It is what it is. Tack never had the you can't type at all no more. No, Summer can talk. The problem with Summer is that he keeps taking advantage of me not banning him. So like for example, he'll rage bait, I'll say I'll ban him, and then he'll be, a little nice for the rest of the stream. And then the next time I stream, he'll go back to his antics and think that I'll just infinitely warn him. But I'm at my limit now. Like I'm just going to instantly ban him if I ever see him type some bullshit again. It's completely fine to have your own opinions, but like to just continuously say the same shit I've warned about, like it has to be in the double digits at this point. The amount of times I've warned him on like the same things. And then he just, oh my God, voice cracked. And then he just keeps doing the same thing. Like I have my limits. Even it's not just him. Tactician is also like starting to get to my breaking point. Like he was literally the first one to comment on my last video, and his comment was, keep in mind it's been like 1 minute into the video. He probably got a notification. His comment is instantly trying to instigate something with gotcha tribalism because he likes Wuo more than HSR. I instantly deleted that comment, and I'm like, if this fucker comes into my stream and starts the tribalism shit, I'm instantly banning him. Oh, hello, Kiwi. Will your Firefly account go for Himiko? No. Surprised you haven't smited him yet? It's like I said, I've been lenient with my chat for like so long now. But I'm just getting more and more sick of being this like incredibly lenient guy because these specific people take advantage of it. So I'm just not gonna be like that anymore. Appreciate that, Keely. Mm. Oh, I'll take an extra pull. What's my pity on Saber? Saba. 52. Let's get that at 54. Ah. May I get those 300 jades? No. This account has a long journey on trying to get E6 Saba. It's gonna take a while. You gotta not spend the jades now so you can spend them on Guild Cone. I've already talked about this on my last stream that I did this. It's impossible for me to get the Gilga Cone for free on this account, which is why I don't care. They're not going to give enough pulls in the next patch for me to hit 200 unless I spend money. And I've already decided I'm not spending money on this account, so. At least for now. Like, if I had enough pulls stacked up to then, like, you also include 4.4 pulls, I can hit 200 at some point in the patch, yeah, I would have saved. But I just can't, so there's no point. That's how they get you. Like, if you get close to the 200 pull mark, but you can't hit it, it's like, oh, what if I spend on a monthly pass? What if I spend on Jades to be able to hit the 200 pull mark just for the free cone? Gilga's cone is too ass for me to care about it. There's only a few days before Cyberpunk banners go. Thank fuck. Jeez. All I cared about was Rebecca and she was free. Get those shitty ass banners out of my way. They're taking up my limited pulls. I saw someone who was stuck with an S5 Lucy on Reddit. And he doesn't have enough to get S6. Hilarious. I forgot what it was like to see something like that happen because of HSR banners. Depends on how many pulls are in the 4.4 patch. Dink. It fully depends on the base pulls plus monthly pass. If the base pulls are lower than you'd want, then you might have to do a little more, I'd imagine. But you should be close, I think. Like, you should be close at the minimum. I quit WoWa because the game is boring. I mean, that it could also be burnout, to be honest. I remember making a video about this like a while back. A lot of people confuse a game falling off with them just getting burnout because they play the game too much. It could be either of the two. But yeah, personally, I just fucking, like, I despise open world gachas at this point. They just feel so annoying and tedious for no reason. Is Silver Palace open world? No, not exactly, I'm pretty sure. It's more of a like one space type of thing that's like pretty sizable, but it's not open world. Like you're not gonna get fucking Genshin or WoWa levels of exploration. That's because they are annoying and tedious, yeah. Like, I don't want to do, like, all this exploration, and some of these things are hidden behind puzzles, and they're in, like, the weirdest spots on the map, all for, like, 3 pulls, 4 pulls. I'm good. Just give it to me directly, man. Make it easier. If you were given a free standard selector today, who would you pick? Instantly, well, it wouldn't even be like I wouldn't have to think twice about it. Exploration slop accurate. I'm surprised about Saridra being in the next banner's patch. I mean, to be fair, we just had a Phanon rerun, or we have actually. Yeah, he's right now, and then Anoxa's rerunning in the next patch as well. Like, it's kind of perfect time for a Saridra rerun again. Do you like PvP gacha games or not? Usually no. To be fair, I haven't even played enough PvP gacha games. I might have only played like 1 or 2 in my life. But PvP gacha games almost always get ruined by the fact that whales will just absolutely stomp you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because gacha games tend to usually not have that much skill expression. So whales can just make up for it with their much more powerful abilities. Or gear or whatever. Like, imagine if HSR added PvP and like a free-to-play saved up an entire year to get, I don't know, like an 8-cost, 9-cost mono rem team. And then they get hit with a full E6S5 mono rem team. They're literally getting 0 AV'd. That's why I love PvP gacha, I imagine, Kiwi. But yeah. The only PvP games I actually play or give a shit about tend to be free to play competitive games. Because, like, them being free to play usually means there's an advantage. Like shit like Fortnite, CS, Valorant. Like they have skins and stuff, but there's nothing that actually gives you an advantage. Feel so old, but I'm only 26. See, you're still in your younger days. There's nothing to worry about. Me too. People start calling others unks at like 18 plus, but I'm 21. I still feel refreshed. I still feel healthy, you know? This is the true prime. Just no more childlike whimsy. Time to find a life partner, gang? Does he know? Does he know? Will you ever marry? Hell no. I'm good, man. I'm staying out of relationships. I thought Gabby was over 25. I'm still very young, guys. How's your Val journey? Bro, I just can't play it anymore, man. Or at least I can't play with my IRLs anymore. Okay. I got into the game because of an IRL, and now my IRL, like, all my friends I've played with who played before me are now worse than me, and playing ranked with them when they sell is the worst experience ever. I can't bring myself to play the game anymore. Does Kiwi still do Epic 7 propaganda? Oh yeah, I remember that. He was like my number one Epic 7 propagandist. I forgot about that arc. He kept trying to get me to play it and make content on it for like months. You should play League. I'd rather die in game. I don't like getting into games that are competitive that have been out for a certain amount of time. Like if it's been out for a long ass time, I don't even want to attempt to get into it. Like see something like Marvel Rivals, that would be significantly easier. The game is a lot fresher, meaning it's way easier to catch up to the average player base. But the older the game you play, the more difficult it becomes. By the way, Kiwi, did you see the new Sparksy skin? Thought you might like that. Maybe not. Skin? Yeah. Evanescence and Hyacine are supposedly getting one in 4.5, but that's leaked, so we don't know what it looks like yet. But they officially announced the skin for Sparksy in 4.4. I put on my community post on YouTube. Skin looks amazing. Yeah, it looks pretty good. My problem with these ranked multiplayer games is they make you toxic by default because you have to deal with meta people who hate fun. I mean, I think it goes two ways. I think people who only care too much about meta and like they'll throw games slash ruin your games if you don't do what they do are bad. But like, if you're going into a ranked mode and then you're like completely throwing because you want to play casually, I understand where someone would come from where they don't like that. It kind of goes both ways. You really want like it straight in the middle for the most part. Gabby will never buy it. Um, I mean, the problem with buying skins is that like there's another way to make your characters look different in these gacha games that is completely free. I'm not necessarily saying that I do it, but that it exists, and so it's like, why would I do that, you know? Because I totally didn't do it for Ellen Joe and ZZZ. You want Sparksy skin? Kiwi, this is unfortunate to say, but I don't even own Sparksy on any of my accounts to begin with. I, I appreciate the offer, but I wouldn't even be able to use it. Even my Silver Wolf account went for like E1S1 Yao Guang instead of Sparksy. I'll buy you Eva skin if it comes out then. Uh oh yeah, I do have Eva on one of my accounts. Yeah, yeah. My Phanon one with the follow-up team. All right. I'll take you up on that. You didn't buy the Ellen skin. You're not a true Ellen main. Um I kind of used a different method for making my Ellen look different. So, yeah, it wasn't a school skin, but Gabby a fraud. I mean, okay, yes, I'm going to get Sparksy eventually, but I am someone who likes doing optimal vertical investment. So, like, I'm trying to get E2 Silverwolf, before I pull on Sparksy. Summer skins are just trash. I don't agree. To be honest, I find the upcoming summer SPs to probably be my favorite design change this game has ever done. Like, is there genuinely a single male character in this game with shorts? Like, does a single one exist that isn't Avin? And is there a single woman in a bikini in this game? I don't think there's either of those. Misha? Really? What's Misha again? Destruction, maybe? Yeah. I guess. This isn't anywhere near the same, though. To be honest, this isn't even shorts. This is like a onesie. This is so, like, incredibly short. Holy shit. At that point, it's basically underwear. People don't like the new SPs. Some people, yeah. Some people. I think the majority of people like it from what I've seen on social media. But like, as always with these things, there's always people who complain about SPs somehow. They always find some way. Yeah, the majority like it. It's just boring on an SP when they could have given a lore power up. I mean, they are powering up though. You haven't even seen the 4.5 story, brother. Robin is going to Astropolis to try and expose the IPC, and then Avin got promoted to the same rank as like Jade and a few other important figures, which is why he's there. So he's much higher up in the IPC now than he was before. Beach Resort powering up. Brother, Blade has almost the exact same design as his previous one, just with some bandages and a red recolor. At least these beach skins are something unique. Fuck. I think SPs are just a fun idea. They don't have to be super deep or anything. Yeah, they don't. The player base sees SPs as power-ups, and can you stop assuming that they aren't getting power-ups when Avin has already been confirmed to get a power-up and there's no 4.5 story? Like, use your brain. Holy shit. People want to speak about, oh, there's no power-up. There's no lore reason. None of this matters. When we haven't even gotten 4.4 story before 4.5 story. Avin never got a promotion. Summer, I'm about to ban you, dude. It's on the fucking drip marketing, man. Oh my god. It's on the drip market. It says he got promoted. I'm the same, Kiwi. I mean, it's cool if there's like some lore power up, but like, I don't find it at all to be a necessity for SPs at all. I don't need every single character to get an edgy lore power up to justify their SP. And I'd much prefer something really unique, such as Avin and as well as what's it called? Robin. Why do people hate my opinions? Because they aren't opinions. You're just wrong. Like an opinion is a subjective, thing that someone has that they aren't trying to state anything objective. You keep trying to argue with objective facts and saying, "Oh, but I believe this." It's like being a flat earther. Half of the fandom does it, but why am I getting the ban? Does it look like half of the fandom is in my chat? If half of the fandom was in my chat, they'd also be getting banned. The fuck? Yeah, exactly. An opinion is more, oh, I don't like the summer skins, right? I don't fuck with it. That's fine. That's an opinion, right? You're saying you don't like it, it's not to your taste. But trying to argue, oh, the summer skins suck objectively. They suck. You should hate it too. Here's my reasoning for not liking it, so you shouldn't like it too. And this is why it's bad. Like, that's the type of thing that you use for literally everything. You keep trying to speak on things objectively when it's just your own opinion. I think people finally saw how many SPs we're getting this year. Uh, I mean, to be fair, there's no SPs in 4.6 and 4.7, I think, right? It's not leaked yet who the second characters are for both of the patches, but 4.6 is Pearl and 4.7 is Nihilux. So after 4.5, the SP releases are probably going to stop. At least for the rest of this version. It's not objective when it's a fact. It just isn't. Do you know how I've already talked about this in the last stream. If you do something over and over again, the same thing every single time, it will lose its scarcity. And people will eventually get accustomed to it and they won't find it to be as cool anymore. If you make every single SP require a character to get an edgy story arc that gives them a lore power up, and this is the formula that every SP needs to follow, people would get bored as fuck. Genuinely. Like, it would get old insanely quickly. Knowing that your characters can get incredibly unique designs, SPs, new animations, new teams, all of this shit, and it doesn't need to be this insane lore power up every single time, gives a lot more characters in this game hope for receiving SPs in the future who aren't as lore relevant as like Acheron, Phanon, and Cassie. What's the last patch for this version? According to the leakers, 4.8. It's a Amphorius patch in 4.8. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but it could have been better if they released a skin alongside the lore SP. I mean, brother, no offense, but like, it would look weird as shit if you're on the beaches of Astropolis and instead of their summer skins or their summer design being the base form, they're in some fucking like edgy ass, like, imagine Blade, bro. Imagine Blade at the beach trying to have fun at a resort instead of their current designs. Where's Blade? Oh, I forgot it. Nihility. Like, yeah, bro. Look at this beach fit, man. I'm at the resort. I'm having a good time. Like, it makes significantly more sense given the story. Why that... Like, SPs, although they don't have to be a huge lore power-up, are lore relevant. You know? That is, like, the one thing that is consistent. It's usually lore relevant with SPs. Which is exactly what Robin and Avon are. What's your fave planet design-wise? Ampho. Yeah, I've already said this. They're ramping up their skin releases significantly more now in comparison to ever before. And considering Sparksy just got a skin, there's a high chance that they also get skins after a couple patches or a few patches of their release. Like, we're getting Sparksy skin 4.4 and it's leaked Evanescence Hyacine skins in 4.5. And Cassie also recently got a skin as well, a little earlier. Like, they're massively ramping up the skin releases. Summer. Once again, there is a difference between hot takes and retarded takes that make 0 sense and do not apply. Like, there is a massive difference between these two. You can have hot takes. That doesn't mean that you are free from being criticized for how idiotic they are. That's just how the world works. You can't say something dumb and then be like, oh, free speech. Let me continue saying dumb shit. Bro, Summer, stop trying to guilt trip me. This shit is so embarrassing. Like, you keep trying to guilt trip me. You went from, oh, I have hot takes, to, oh, but half the fandom does this. So why can't I do it? To now being like, oh, you're constantly threatening me. Buddy, you think I don't see you trying to constantly shift the goalpost into making it out as I'm the villain for calling your shit out? Stop being annoying. Stop being a nuisance. Just be normal. And you won't get threatened. Like, there's a reason you're the only one outside of Tactician. Tactician I've also threatened to ban. Like, you two are the only ones. And everybody else in the chat. There's usually like 70 to 100 people in my chat actively. How are you two the only ones who I consecutively call out every stream? It's not a coincidence. At Nothing rage baits you every stream and you don't say anything to them. I've also threatened to ban him. In fact, I was going to threaten to ban him if he sent one more message about Gilga being an ass character and how E3 of Archer is better than getting Gilga. If he sent one more message after what he was saying earlier, I would have said the same thing. The difference is you've done like 10 times what Nothing has done. The E3 Archer thing was just one example, Yelan. He had like 6 messages before that. I'm not sure if Avon will need Ashvale. I don't know. We'll see. Beta is like 11 days away. It's not that long. Is Gilga worth pulling Saber? Huh? Is Saber worth pulling for Gilga, or is Gilga worth pulling for Saber? I can't really tell with that wording. But either way, like, Gilga's free, so you don't even need to pull him. If you get a free Gilgamesh and his Lycone, is it worth it to pull for Saber? Kinda. Saber doesn't have that big of a light cone jump, right? So you can get away with E0 Aeon from the Herda shop, E0 S1 Gilga, RMC, and Huohuo. Yeah, it's not that bad of an investment. That's basically another team. Gilga, M-Blade, Tribi, no Huohuo, would that work? It would be very tough. Without Ashvale, you usually want a buffing action advancer, and then you really want Huohuo. Because Huohuo regenerates like the most energy for him of any character. Fake characters are really cheap compared to normal characters. Yeah, I brought this up on like a video a bit ago where I was talking about how like the Saber Gilgamesh thing is overblown because people are like, oh, if you compare to equal cost Himiko, if you compare to equal constellation, but it's like, one, they actually have one of the strongest teams in the game because of their incredibly good synergy with Huohuo and Sustain that is like kind of competitive with Elation and a lot of the previous teams, but also like Gilga's free, Huohuo's accessible for free, RMC is also free, and he's one of the best in, like, it's an incredibly cheap team when you actually go cost versus cost, which actually makes it better for a lot of people in some cases. Well, it was too strong for Gil. Yeah, it's the double dip with the way his kit works. It makes her incredibly valuable. No other sustain comes close. E6 Gilga was one-shotting King Boss. Surely they nerfed the E6 damage? No. To begin with, that AA is highly shilling ult and skill damage characters. They get 50% res pen on ultimate damage or skill damage. I saw him outperform E6 Himiko on a King boss. I find that highly unlikely, unless the person had very bad play. You told me Huohuo was a bait for the golden token, so I never got her. I mean, she kinda is. It's just energy teams that highly value energy, which none of them are the top teams. And then Saber Gilga was just sudden. Every time I talked about Huohuo being bait, it was in relation to the Elation teams. Because it's obvious she's gonna get kicked out first. They constantly nerf Gil. I mean, like, I also would have like you guys need to understand. If there was anyone on this planet who wanted him to maintain his action advance over speed stacks, it is me. Okay? I literally invested into the Ashblade team and possibly Blade E2 just for this guy and putting him on the team. Like, it doesn't hurt anyone more than it hurts me, the change. But, like, it just had to happen. He had an infinite ult loop when his 10 stacks was action advance with a highly invested in Fua team. And there was no way they could stop it unless they got rid of the action advance for something else. It just is what it is. Like, the Fua attack frequency on that team, when the team is like super high investment with E2 Blade and stuff, you just can't stop it. They can't touch on characters that have already been released, Summer. They just can't do it. It's illegal. That's why the change RMC stuff, like, it literally can't happen. Otherwise, they would have done that because it would have been a lot simpler for them. But even then, like, Gilga had infinite AV or zero AV loops even without RMC, just with a high invested Fua team. They could give Gilgamesh unique energy that doesn't work with RMC. That's not the issue, though. Like, yes, the energy was one issue, but the energy issue already got resolved a while back. The main issue was his 10 stacks giving him action advance. Because at E2, he gained significantly more interest per ult. So he now gained, I think, like 5 per ult back then. Now it's like 7 because it's speed stacks. But he get 5 per his own ult. Every ally action gives 1. Every ally ult gives 3. Like, he had infinite loops, even if you disinclude his ult and his energy. Because of the Fua team's frequency. They had to get rid of the action advance too. Just give him 50% advance. I mean, 50% advance is probably as bad. Or like on, no, yeah, it's on the same level as his speed stacks. To be honest. There's not really a difference between 50% advance and his current speed stacks. He already gets to like 300 plus speed, even at like not so high investment. At high investment, the guy hits like 400 speed, which is more effective than the speed advance, 50%. I think the interest being reduced to 0 is what made Gilga feel bad. At least cap it and just decrease by 50% each time he acts. No. They kind of can't let that happen. Because once you get E2 Gilga, and the amount of interest you generate is just so fucking high, like, you can decrease it by 50% each time, but it won't decrease it fast. And like, you will only be increasing your interest stacks more and more over time, basically. And it'll get to a point where, like, he's probably wasting barely any AV at all per turns. Like, it'd be incredibly slow. So he'd get significantly more turns if he maintained that stuff. Because, for example, like, I'm seeing things, especially in more, like, medium invested in Gilga teams with, like, the Fua comp. The guy can hit, like, 40 interest. So he hits, like, 46 interest. His speed is absolutely through the roof. But instead of all of it disappearing, only half goes away. And now by the next time he takes his turn, he's now at 60 interest. Right? And then it kind of keeps going. At that point, he'd be at like 800 speed. Because even when we don't go this high, if he was able to maintain 260 plus speed, he'd be able to take 4 turns in a 0 cycle. And higher speeds, he might even be able to maintain it over multiple cycles, which would still probably give him an infinite ult loop, if I had to guess. Because with that many turns and a higher investment Fua team, it wouldn't be as broken, but it would still work kind of similarly to the old Gilga Ashblade team. What about 80% action advance? I don't know. I guess, maybe. But that would still be stupidly strong. No. It's kind of similar, not gonna lie. It would be a little too strong for them, I imagine. Once again, like, most of the changes to his action advance is just to nerf the Ashblade team with him. Make the amount of attacks needed for an advance higher? Yes, but then you have to consider that they're scared about the future. Like, you guys need to understand, the thing is, a lot of you are looking at this the same way the Hoyo devs did with RMC and how RMC became a mistake to begin with, right? They were like, oh, there's no infinite ult loop with RMC when we're releasing him right now, so let's not even worry about it in the future, which is why there's now issues. If you, in the future, let's say you get a sustain who has like the Fua frequency of Ling Sha, but like she's an actual new meta sustain who's highly synergistic with the Fua team, that could end up leading to an infinite ult loop, even if you do increase the total stacks needed for his action advance. Because you could just get his E2, you could get this Ling Sha S sustain, and then you can run Ashblade, and you can get 0 AVs again with E2 M Blade. And there's nothing they can do about it now. Because just like RMC, Gilga already exists in the game, and there's nothing they can change about it. The speed stacks change is legit just to make sure that no matter who they release in the future, he can never 0 AV ever again. Is kind of just how it goes. If they could go back in time, then they would probably put a cap on the amount of charge that RMC can get. RMC would probably function like Tribby, where like every ally would only have like one turn that can generate energy for the action advance until RMC takes a turn again. Something like that. Yeah, Bronte. I mean, you guys can already see like this game is kind of stupid when it comes to evaluating self AV and how good it can be in certain teams that abuse it. And the best example of this is Eagle and DDD, right? Like, DDD is arguably more valuable than some limited light cones, and Eagle is the highest value relic set in the entirety of the game. And even that is only like a 24% action advance. It's nowhere near what Gilga's action advance was. Well, yeah, I imagine we will probably get to a day at some point where an infinite loop will make it live. If they keep going down this trend of making teams where people can generate resources for stuff without it being their turn. Like if they keep doing that and they keep making it stronger, they'll inevitably hit it. But I'd like to think that this beta was probably a hard learned lesson for them. I don't think I think they're gonna be more careful with character kits from now on. Should I get E1 Evernight for Mono Rem or Sparksy for Silverwolf? I mean, in terms of how valuable each of the two are for their team, right now it's definitely E1 Evernight. Not gonna lie. They gotta make more skins like Sparksy. It's leaked that Evanescea and Hyacine are getting skins in 4.5 Bronte. So, we'll see by then. No problem. Robin will definitely cause loops with 3 memo sprites. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like everyone's getting a little too carried away with this 3 memo sprites thing. Because the more likely case scenario here is that just like Evernight, it just explodes. Like it's one turn and it's gone, and you can't actually heal it. That is like the much more likely case here. And it's not that you now have fucking like 10 characters plus on the team that can get healed. Cause yeah, like if the 3 memo sprites were all had individual health bars that could get healed, yeah, that would be pretty broken. But if they're all either just part of one memo sprite who has different actions, like let's say Cassie's Dragon, or they don't even have an HP bar like Hyacine's Ika, then it's like it doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure they act as one memo. Yeah, that's my guess as well. Bye, Gabby. Bye, Sodic. Thanks for stopping by. Is pulling Sparksy worth? No, not now, really. You just have to wait until the Elation team is finished. Floplation being the most future rail team? I mean, not really. When you really deep it's not different to Cassie, to be honest. Like, even Himiko isn't that much stronger, although she is stronger for now in comparison to like the top elation teams. But it was the same thing with like Cassie was doing the same damage as like Anoxa and Phanon, and Premium Dot was actually the number one team before Evernight came out. And then they got Evernight plus Cyrene, which is what put Monoram at the top of Ampho. So when you think about it, Pearl being in 4.6 and Silverwolf Elation team not being the strongest, but like among the strongest, is basically the exact same thing that Cassie did. Like, there isn't really a difference. Trust in the Silverwolf agenda? I mean, it's not even an agenda, it's just gonna happen. Like, I do like Silverwolf and I pulled her, but I always say this, I just don't have any biases towards characters I like when talking about meta and like likelihoods and stuff. It's just obvious. Annie main push stuff. She's gonna be one of the strongest, if not the strongest. Yao Guang isn't going anywhere. It just can't happen. They don't have enough character releases anymore. We know 4.6 is Pearl. Pearl is likely going to be Elation Sustain. 4.7 is Nihilux and maybe someone else. But it's unlikely that Nihilux is a support. So you have 2 slots left. It's legit like impossible to get rid of Yao Guang value. It's kind of just impossible. And then 4.8 is an Ampho patch. So I doubt the characters releasing in that patch are going to have anything to do with Elation. CL data mined and EMC upgrade similar to RMC? Yeah, and what about it? That's just not, like, who cares? Brother, the RMC upgrade was giving him a basic attack and having some synergy with the limited character being Cyrene. Like, yeah, it was a buff, but it for EMC to be competitive with Yao Guang in value, he legit needs to do like double of what his kit currently does. It's not going to happen. Another single character patch. I mean, it's just possible that other characters for the patch aren't leaked yet. Uncle Latte says Avon is not Fua. Uncle Latte also already said that they purposely lie in some of their leaks to not get caught by Hoyo. Maybe he isn't for Fua. That's a possibility. But a lot of other leakers have said he is for Fua. Or at least he can transfer between Fua or Elation teams. Yeah, Uncle Latte has like a 50% track record because the guy purposely lies. I haven't finished a story since 3.x. Am I cooked? Uh, to be honest, I don't blame you. It's nice to fall back on if you ever need pulls in the future, at least. Trivios leaked for 4.8. Yeah, and I'm dead. I don't think Anon ever said that summer. I'm not gonna lie. Avon was the elation sustain all along. That would actually be hilarious. Okay, that would actually be quite funny. I'm assuming he's the main DPS. I don't think they'd actually go that crazy. Like, usually SPs are different roles. Like, even Robin, you can at least say that she's a sub DPS instead of a pure support like she used to be. Stuff like that. There's only two characters, I guess Himiko and Herta, who have the same role in SP. Uncle Latte needs everyone to take more than just a grain of salt, yeah. I don't know, Summer. I'm not looking at beta gameplays right now. There's no point. I already have a good idea. Tribi? I mean, I wouldn't be mad at Tribios. I like both Tribi and Tribios. And at the end of the day, that would be like a win-win. I would have been more annoyed if it was like a small Cyrene situation where like you get one but you don't get the other. So then you're just sad. Bye, Dark. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe Tribios can buff my Herda? Oh, the cope never ends. Lygus? I don't think Lygus would be like the first person who doesn't look human at all to become playable. You use Tribios and Tribi together? Maybe. Like a small Herda and big Herda thing in pure fiction? Alright, chat. I'm gonna end my stream here. I'm starting to get tired. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great night.